Hey Tyrants, welcome to the crew. I'm CeeLo Agenda, and this is my Let's Play of Tyranny. We've just finished talking to the Archon of War, Graven Ash, and with the Civil War with the Voices of Narant brewing, we're headed out west to start our investigation into the matter. Timer anymore? Could be wrong. So, I'll assume we can head over to Cato. Well, that's in that area, but let's go deal with it. Then we'll head back to Sentinel. Oh, hello. A group of mercenaries, members of the Bronze Brotherhood, are blocking the road to Lethian's Crossing. I assume we're about to have to fight. Oh, there they are. Oh, yes. What's that? Welby? Real? Small figure stands before some armor-clad soldiers. His arms move wildly as he gestures in frustration, yelling at the man directly in front of him. Absolutely not. I've come through Ironhall Trail more times than I can remember. No one ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying one now. He notices you standing nearby and turns to speak. Fatebinder, surely you of all people can help me. My name is Aster, and I must get to Lethian's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll to him or anyone, and he is to let me through. He folds his arms over his chest and nods with a pronounced finality. Greetings, Fatebinder. I'm sorry you've been drawn into this. What you've stumbled into here is merely a conflict of the changing times. I'm Will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhall Trail is under our protection, and anyone passing through must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like passes through our land, a simple donation is required. He holds out his hand. These funds help our cause and help keep Ironhand a safe place for all travelers. Clearly, you both can see the value in that. Master speaks, his arms swinging about again, emphasizing his words. And who exactly is keeping it safe? You, standing there with your weapons at the ready against me? His arms drop and he turns to you again. I'm not but a traveling merchant. I've no money to spare, and I certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed, he points at Will. You're the only threat here. Fatebinder, please, talk some sense into this man. I don't think you have Kairos' authority for this toll, so, how about you allow us passage immediately? Thank you, Fatebinder. You've done a great deal of good today. Aster bows dramatically. He turns back to the soldier. And you, brute, move aside and let me pass. Will holds his position and gives you a meaningful look. Perhaps you want to reconsider your stance on the matter, Fatebinder. He plants his hammer on the ground and leans on it, staring Aster down. Passage is bought with rings or blood, but I'll happily take both. I stand by it. Aster raises his hands in protest. I thank you for your efforts, Fatebinder, but it's not worth bloodshed. I will leave in peace. Oh, damn. Will returns to his position and looks you over, his former genial mood gone. So, Fatebinder in our little corner of the world. Who'd have ever thought this would happen? He spits between his feet, then crushes it into the dirt with his boot. You're walking a dangerous line, Fatebinder. The Bronze Brotherhood never backed down from threats. He pauses for a moment, sizing you up. Normally, I'd knock you down where you stand for threatening me, but Raytuman demanded to see you if you came through here. I thought he was crazy saying you'd be visiting Lethian's Crossing. Looks like I owe him a few rings. He shakes the pouch around his neck, making the rings inside jingle melodically. Not that there's a shortage of those out here. What can this humble servant of the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? And don't ask me to let you through, because that isn't happening. This ridiculous piece of mercenary offal requires a lesson in pain and obedience. Allow me to teach him. All right, do it, Barrack. Sellsword, attend me. I take it your responsibilities have been explained to you? Keep the rabble on this side of the bridge, yes? That does not preclude taking orders from your betters. One of two things will happen. Either you will let us pass, or we will simply pass. There are no other options. Whatever role you've taken upon yourself to bar our way has already failed. You succeed only in delaying our task and annoying me. Is your name Ray Tolman? Are you the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood? He cups his ear to listen. No, I didn't think so, because he decides who crosses and who doesn't. You have a problem with that? Take it up with him. Ash, forgive me, but I can only endure so much of this fool's inane jabbering. A blur of rusted metal precedes a deafening crunch as Barrack backhands the mercenary, leaving a significant mark behind. Will rubs his cheek. Hold on, I'm just doing my job. I apologize if I offended. Raid Tolman will have my head if I let you through. There's nothing I can do about it. While you're talking to Will, a striking man with a shock of bright blonde hair approaches, moving away from some men searching bodies of slain soldiers to the south. He watches you intently as he closes, his angular features pulling into a look of disdain. And here's the Fatebinder. He doesn't mask the displeasure in his voice. I knew we'd see you. I was just wondering when. One trip to Lethian's Crossing wasn't enough, Governor? Yes, I gave control of the settlement away from them. He doesn't even mask the contempt in his voice. You had to return where no one asked you to come. Throwing me out of my home wasn't sufficient. Are you here to disrupt my life some more? He looks at his men who stop to watch the conversation. You aren't done. He flicks his hand at them and they return to their searching. It doesn't really matter why you're here. I don't care. I have more important things to worry about. In case you've forgotten me already, my name is Ray Tolman. I'm First Brother, leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. But I'm sure you already know that. I couldn't help but see you over here talking to Will and that traveling merchant. Only here for a moment and already sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, are you? I don't appreciate others invading my territory, Fatebinder. I told him he had to speak to you, Ray Tolman. He wanted through, but I told him no. If you don't give me the signal, the Fatebinder isn't getting into Lethian's Crossing. No one will invade your territory. Ray Tolman stares at Will for a few moments, lips pursed, then continues as if Will never spoke. Watch yourself while you're a guest in my land. If you come to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped and will not back down in the defense of what is rightfully ours. He sweeps his arm in front of him, gesturing to the surrounding countryside. Welby and I might not always agree, but that is one point we see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. His eyes narrow when he leans towards you. You are not welcome here. Now tell me what you want, or leave. This isn't even your land, you arrogant pissant. Frickin' rebels. Such arrogance is the precursor to a mighty fall, Fatebinder. I might not currently have control of Lethian's Crossing, but we both know possessions are fleeting. Lethian's Crossing is my home, and your imagined control over our lives doesn't change that fact. You do well to watch your tone when speaking to a Fatebinder. Ray Tolman laughs hollowly. I care not about Kairos' forces. I've already reaped the rewards of my loyalty, and I will not make that mistake again. You've taken my home, but I will have it back. I won't cower when you raise your voice against me, lapdog. Why are you charging travelers a toll to get through the trail? I don't see how the affairs of the Brotherhood are your business, Fatebinder. Suffice it to say, the funds we receive from our tolls help us keep the lands around Lethian's Crossing safe. We are owed our dues, and we shall have them. Who the hell is Welby? He shoots a look to the north. I had such high hopes for her as my first axe. The continued success of the Brotherhood should be the single most important goal for anyone's a member. She seems to have forgotten her place. She's not the head of this band, I am. If she doesn't stop overreaching, I'll have to replace her with someone who knows how to obey. Tell me about the Brotherhood. We're a humble group with noble, long-held traditions on the side of right and honor. Ray Tolman's voice fills with pride. If there is an injustice that needs to be rectified, we are called. So you're hired thugs. Ray Tolman's face takes on a sour expression. If you want to be crass, then yes, people pay us for our services. But it's hardly the reason we do what we do. It clearly is. Relax, there's no shame in doing what you do for a decent wage. But claiming you're doing the work of the righteous when you're just selling your brawn makes you sound like a brigand or a conqueror. Those are quite arrogant words from a man who belongs to a group that takes knowledge and hides it from the world. Your opinion in this matter means nothing to me. Why do you guys care about Lethian's Crossing? We were asked to do a job and we did it. Then what happens? You throw us out of our home. He makes an emphatic gesture to the north toward Lethian's Crossing. By all rights, that city of us is ours, and suddenly Kairos wants it. Well, I intend to get it back. I refuse to let this matter die. We protected the crossing for years, and even ensured Kairos' forces could do business here when Narad asked us to. No, we did the job we were asked, and this land belongs to us. You said you didn't do it for the money, but you seem to be fighting over this town for the money. I don't appreciate your tone or the implications of what you're saying, Fatebinder. Ray Tolman's eyes are hard and his voice is flat. This is a mere matter of principle. We performed a service and we were paid for that service. Don't try to glibly explain away a complex situation. This is our home. This is my home. I will have it, no one else. Now, if all you came here to do is insult me and mine, I would suggest you'd leave. No, I'm going through. Ray Tolman looks at you with an incredulous expression. Absolutely not. You must be crazy if you think I'm letting a disfavored sympathizer through to consort with my enemies. Who knows what plans you'd make to undermine my authority? He crosses his arms over his chest. You have some nerve, Fatebinder. First you have me thrown from my home, and now you want back in so you can come up with an even worse punishment? I should just attack, but he gave me a lead that I should go talk to Welby first, so wonder if I can start a Bronze Brotherhood civil war here. I swear I said she, but Welby appears to be like a balding man, so lesser cyclical sigil of cyclical energies. Oh, reduces cooldown. Oh, that's nice. Let's read that straight away. Nice. Welby. Oh, she is a woman. Never mind. It's just weird from the back. She still looks balding from the back, to be honest. The tall woman stands here, surveying the area from a small overlook. She glances at you and immediately goes back to watching her surroundings. Welcome to Iron Hall Trail, Fatebinder of Tunon. With all that running around, I wasn't sure if you're ever going to make it over here. I haven't yet made up my mind if I should be offended you didn't speak to me first, or happy I get the final word. I hope Will didn't vex you too much. He's a good enough sort. He just enjoys his job a little more than he should. A hint of a smile plays across her lips. He thinks he's being sly, taking a cut of every toll, but he's told practically everyone what he's doing by now. Did Ray Tolman have anything to note to tell you, or is he still wasting his time scouring dead bodies for information he'll never find? She looks south and sighs softly. I will admit he has led this group to some minor glories, but I fear how we'll end up if something doesn't change. She salutes you. My name is Welby, first axe for the Bronze Brotherhood, though I'm not sure that title matters anymore. She pauses to gather her thoughts, then opens her mouth to continue. Instead, she exhales slowly and shakes her head. Never mind, you needn't be burdened with my problems. What can I help you with? Tell me about the Brotherhood, your perspective. Welby laughs a little. We're mercenaries, plain and simple. I'm not going to pretend like it's anything more. While it's true we have in recent years been a little more stationary than your typical crew, it doesn't change the fact that our services can be purchased if the price is right. We both know full well that the rings the voices gave us were the only thing that bought our allegiance to Kairos when the Overlord turned an eye to the crossing, even if our thanks for helping was to be thrown from our homes. She contemplates you for a moment. Not that I hold any ill will towards you for it. Decisions have to be made, and there's always someone who must pay the price. I just hope you realize some people don't like being asked to pay. Ray Tolman will try to sell you on our long and noble traditions, like we're some kind of altruistic saints who can do no wrong, but that story's as old and smelly as Grandma Beastman's tail hairs. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to take a job that doesn't seem right to me, but a ring's a ring, and I will go where the money leads me. One point Ray Tolman and I will agree on is this. We did a job for Kairos, and we were not treated fairly. The Brotherhood is strong, and we have the numbers. We will fight to the last man. I just don't agree with Ray Tolman's methods. What's it mean to be first axe? She sighs. I wish I knew, Fatebinder. The first axe protects and consults with the first brother. I'm supposed to be Ray Tolman's advisor, confidant, and guard. Lately, his behavior's become erratic. He's acting paranoid, manic, and distrustful. My duty as first axe is to protect the first brother, but I'm also sworn to protect the Brotherhood, and if that means the removal of Ray Tolman, so be it. He has too many supporters in Lethian's Crossing right now to speak out against it. What do you think's happened to Ray Tolman? Honestly, I couldn't speak to the cause. The stress of leadership, the battles with Kairos' forces, his night in the old walls. She shrugs. When he decided to remove the Brotherhood from the crossing, it certainly set him off. Does it matter? His behavior's endangering the Brotherhood, and he must be stopped before we're destroyed. I fear people will be hurt by far more than a simple toll. How about you run the Brotherhood? I wouldn't waste time and resources on petty vendettas, that much I can tell you. I like battle and I like rings, and with the Brotherhood we used to get both regularly. Now all we have is fear, suspicion, and blood. I want the disciplined regiment back, and I intend to have it. I may agree that we were treated unjustly, but Ray Tolman's methods for obtaining restitution are despicable. Well, acting like a child when you don't get what you want is not the behavior of a leader. Except in this case, the child is in command of an army capable of laying waste to his home. Why are you forcing travelers to pay a toll? Ray Tolman will say it's because of what we're due, and part of me is inclined to agree with him, but if I were pressed, I would say his pride is hurt and he's lashing out. He can be such a child sometimes. She looks quickly at her guards. Just watch yourself around him. He hasn't seemed completely in control of his faculties lately. It's frightening to see what he's becoming. Did you not swear an oath to your leader, Sellsword? I knew that your loyalty was available to the highest bidder, but I never guessed that it extended into treachery. Shut the fuck up, Barrick. Now is not the time. Jesus Christ. Ray Tolman's plans can doom our entire troop, and I intend to prevent that from happening. I'm loyal, not blindly devoted to someone intent on marching me off a cliff's edge. That's all for now. Buy your leave, Fatebinder. Be careful. Okay. She's not interested in, like, open treason or anything. There's not a way around, is there?
Can't do that. Sorry, I can't.
No. It's pretty much... We can talk to Ray Tolman again, but I don't know if he's going to have anything different to say. Whose corpses are these? They're wearing purple, that's a little suspicious. Still around, Fatebinder? I hope you decided to move on already. Tell me what you want, or leave. What's so important about these bodies? There's some of Kairos' army who wandered too far from Lethian's crossing. He spits on the closest body and makes an obscene gesture at it. I'll sleep well when they're all dead and in the ground. The only place they're worthy to be. But if they choose to break themselves up like this, it'll only make it easier for us when the Brotherhood make our claim to what's rightfully ours. Are you going to take Lethian's crossing? Raytoman pulls his head back and looks at you askance. Why would you ask this? His voice drops to a whisper. Is Well be planning to undermine my strategy? I certainly hope that isn't the case. Okay. Okay, I don't really have any options other than attacking one of them. What if I just paid the toll? What if I just lied?
Can't do that.
I think I'm just gonna back away for now.
Sorry, I can't.
I was only going this way because I thought it'd be a quick side quest, but... Ironhall Trails, but one of many trading routes that snake through Haven's wilderness to link travelers to Lethian's Crossing. Its most notable feature is a seasonally accessible river crossing that's prone to flooding during the high summer months. I guess we'll just go back to here. This battered fortress is the historic home of Stalwart's ruling families, the Regents. Protected by two massive walls, it was never taken during the conquest. Frustrated with the siege, Kairos issued an edict that severely damaged the castle and left it encased within a massive perpetual tornado. I don't actually have a way to get through a massive perpetual tornado per se, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Your journey is interrupted by the feral howls of a hunting pack of beastmen. Their leader is an impressive specimen, her mane black as night and her body scarred from battle. Alright, maybe we're actually in a fight now. Ooh, we haven't really run into any beastmen previously. Kills in shadow. Before you towers a massive creature of fur and flesh, her short black snout snuffling in the air.
Know this scent. Stench of blood, sweat, battle, iron and death. Smells like alpha. Smells of strength. But is male.
The beast woman cocks her head to one side, eyes bright with curiosity and red as fresh blood. Those eyes rove your body up and down, darkening with a sudden heat, the look that a predator bestows its prey.
Have been stalking human centrail. Have ranged many more than 5 nights through tribe and human territories of Tyr's land, hunting for human called Fatebinder, for human who woke Horizon Rock called Mountain Spire.
Okay, that would be me.
Have hunted hot high, cold low, wet dry. Traipsed far until paws bled, but always human who smelled of alpha evaded beast woman. Had to slink through shadows, fast, quick, without rest to catch delicious prey at last.
She tongues her blade sharp, discolored fangs, and exhales a pleased growl. You're a shadow hunter, huh?
Fatebinder knows tribes of beast women. Curious human. Male who smells of alpha and knows of shadow hunter tribe. Best tribe. Lost tribe of kills in shadow.
Her eyes pin you with lust, the look of a wolf that's found a hare. Introduce yourself properly before I lose my patience.
I do not see. Beast woman, best hunter, kills in shadow, daughter of mystic brood mother, relict, alpha to pack of stone whelps.
She huffs and sits back on her haunches, narrowed eyes with curious and cross. Alright, explain yourself. What the hell you want?
Humans.
She hacks. The beast woman's nostrils flare wide and her eyes brighten with amusement.
No human called Fatebinder. Kairos breeds words on paper. Fatebinder binds words to earth and sky, makes ground tremble, makes night cry, blood and fire.
What would a beast woman know of Tyrann's Fatebinders?
Human is not first Fatebinder. Kills in shadow has hunted.
She chuffs, darkly amused.
Tribes of Kairos fear Fatebinder. Human Alpha claimed Horizon Rock called Spire, and Archons did not kill Fatebinder. Archons rolled over and whined, covetous.
And what's your point?
Kairos hunts human realms to extinction. Rules tribe of blood and ruin, starvation and death. Seeks to slaughter beast women like prey. But beast women are not prey. Are not flighty, feeble-minded humans.
Kills in Shadows spits a gob of tawny mucus on the ground.
Beast women are savage hunters. Bred to fight Kirut, like Fatebinder who smells of alpha. Strong always kill weak, then grow weak. Killed is migration of life. Kills in shadow is not weak now. Will not be weak for many long seasons. Will join Fatebinder and survive Kairos' tribe.
That's different. If you want to attack me, it'll have to be as a beta, you understand?
Kills in shadow is not beta. But even alphas submit to stronger-willed primas. Many packs make a tribe. Is this not a thought humans also understand? Beast woman will follow Fatebinder. Will not dominate. Unless Fatebinder begins to smell weak.
She tongues one of her upper fangs, lips split in a feral grin. I guess it's a new companion. That'd explain all the voice lines. Alright, but keep your nose to yourself. Beast woman huffs and turns to address her pack.
Kills in shadow will not shelter stone whelps anymore. Scamper, run, flee! Do not want to see shadows lurking, stalking behind. Barb cleft is leader now.
The pack hesitates, causing Kills in Shadow to emit a low, menacing growl.
Will not like if Kills in shadow catches sight or scent of stone mongrels again.
Okay then. I guess maybe
Will
a new
do.
companion. The great spikes of the Blade Grave provide cover for soldiers and beasts alike, making them perfect sites for ambushing unweary travelers. Kind of looks like
Can't
we took
do
a bit of
that.
a wrong turn to end up in that ambush site, actually, but... Alright, let's keep moving. What's that? Nothing too exceptional, but... Alright, bit of a random introduction, but new companion. Probably ever in the party later. Meantime, onwards to Sentinel Stout. Through the billowing dirt and rust kicked up by the Edict of Storms, you make out the shifting silhouettes of a small group ahead of you. Appearing lightly armed and armored, the group pulls 2 carts in their wake. They haven't noticed you through the maelstrom. Well, weary of your presence, the travelers halt when you hail them and await your approach. Their emaciated faces make it clear that hunger has left them weak. One steps forward to explain that they're scavengers from Old Stalwart, hoping to trade their haul in exchange for food for their families. A glance at their goods reveals they're carrying remnants of bronze and iron arms, likely scrounged from the Blade Grave. The leader of the group, head bowed deeply in deference, asks if they may pass. Fine. You allow the scavengers to continue their journey. They thank you, bowing repeatedly before picking their way among the rocks. Soon they vanish, every trace of their passing consumed by the howling winds. Doesn't seem like I have any real interest there, honestly. Okay. It's just one location, Sentinel stand. It's not exactly a tornado. I mean, we're not
Can't do that.
being annihilated by the winds, but
Sentinel stand. I still remember when the edict struck this place.
nice sword. It's pretty wrecked,
Can't do that.
though, to be fair.
Can't do that.
The moat that once encircled Sentinel stand has long since succumbed to the harsh environment. Standing water and patches of moist dirt are all that remain. Who the hell are you? Scout straightens as you approach, squinting through the harsh wind. Are you the support Ash sent out? Yes, I'm Tunoln's Fatebinder. Glad to hear it. We can never be too careful out here. I'm half blind from the storm, and you agents of the court don't always stand out. No offense. We've been patrolling the outer walls, but there's no sign of the enemy. Either they know not to come here, or they're better at hiding than I credited. Damn rebels shift about like the winds they do. You run into any unbroken recently? More than a fortnight ago, but she dashed off right quick before we could knock arrows. They're a cautious lot, but cunning. Not even Kairos could have expected them to use the storm to their advantage. Can we enter the fortress? In these winds, I wouldn't venture to try if I had 1,000 shields to guard me. Come take a look and you'll understand. Okay, hold up. It's over here.
Found something.
Sentinel Stand Keep was once a proud, imposing structure. Now it stands as a mere shadow of its former glory. It does seem pretty damaged.
I can't.
Alright, what's the deal up here? Yes, back there it literally just becomes, like, tornado-like. Nothing has changed. This is the very storm that shattered the unbroken and disfavored alike. Thank you for bringing me here, Fatebinder. Eric regards the wind wall and the massive tornado around the inner keep, which is but a distant outline. Stratus Harridan, the last stalwart regent, cowers behind the walls of his castle, and we won't be able to reach him through this storm. This place brings back unpleasant memories. Only the storm didn't leave a lot behind. A year of brutal weather will do that. Kairos' Edict of Storms devastated the once mighty realm of Stalwart, all but wiping it from the map. There isn't much left of the old country save for the unbroken and their stubborn pride. This is a really stupid question to ask at this point, but you were at Sentinel Stand during the war? Regrettably, the general's daughter and members of her cohort were captured in the second year of the war. By the third, we had tracked her to Sentinel Stand. We knew that the edict was coming, but thought it worth the risks. The battle dragged on longer than it should have, and we got caught in the storm. He sighs, and a cascade of sand escapes his shoulder joints. That was the day I woke up encased in this be-damned rust bucket, and why this place brings to mind unfinished business. What do you know about the regents? They were bureaucrats and diplomats, all drunk on their own self-importance. Stratus Harridan never impressed me, but the people of Stalwart revered the man. Cowardice must run in the regent bloodline. When the edict struck, Stratus hid in his castle and watched his country fall to pieces. An honorable man would have died for his people. Alright, how do we get inside? Couldn't say. The powers fighting over this realm must have some notion, otherwise they wouldn't squabble for control over this blasted wasteland. We should track down someone with answers. Stay vigilant, Fatebinder. Do you hear that? A voice almost? Perhaps a song? You catch an odd sound in the wind. A low moan hidden within a cacophony of swirling dirt and metal debris. The clouds of dust seem to close in upon you. Within them you see patches of glowing red. What the hell is this? Being attacked by ghosts? That seems fitting, honestly.
Heads up, here.
We are very much being attacked by... Oh, these are Bane, actually. Yeah. Wisps and Scourge, that's Bane subtypes, yeah. Bane, 2 arms, okay. Break, it's actually been a bloody while since I fought a battle in this game. Let's see here. Alright, reverse. You guys probably got that. This is just a wisp in front of us. I think that's not a big issue.
Can't do that.
Punch it, maybe. Well, it didn't do much damage, but it certainly knocked it back. Okay, let's bring out the cone. A little bit. We're hurting the Scourge. This thing is about to be on top of me, though. Let's do a Bloodstoke Soak Stone on this guy.
Should try something else.
It is immune to bleeding. That makes a lot of sense, yes, but... Okay, that's almost dead. Barrack's about to deal with that. Lantry, you're literally being, like... There's a wisp beating your face, maybe... I mean, he doesn't really have any abilities to attack currently. No, he's got this. I'd go for that. I will, Something tells me these guys are pretty immune to fire, but let's try to light this on fire anyway.
skeleton out my ass!
Smash to pieces!
Oh no, Mage Fire still burns it. Okay.
On it.
Why are there Bane here anyway? And this place is not, anywhere near the old walls or anything as far as I know. That's once progressed, that's once progressed, so... I haven't really got anything special available. First, you want to, Hold on, once progressed abilities. That guy is in a little bit of trouble. You want to maybe, but your hit chances are so low.
Right.
That's how it's done.
He's not a party member. I can't actually shield him. No.
Can't do that.
Lantry, maybe you help. Yeah? We gotta deal with this thing before it kills our scout. This one's immune to me. Interesting. Wisp wasn't.
Will do.
Okay. Dealt with. And our scout survived, barely. The Bane are gone, their unnatural cries silenced, leaving only the tornado's violence in your ears. As the dust clouds recede, you spot a crouched figure on the wall above. Oh, that guy.
Fatebinder, look there, atop the walls. We aren't alone.
Oh, Radovic's just gonna run on? I know he's
Right.
who the hell are you, Janos? Soldier kneels behind the ruined parapets. You can tell by his raiment, old stalwart gear, that he's an unbroken soldier. He peers at you with a mixture of caution and curiosity. You handle the Bane well enough, but what brings you to this forsaken place? He pauses as recognition dawns in his eyes. You don't look like the typical rank and file of Kairos' army, but you're no son of Stalwart either. He squints at your raiment and takes your measure. No, you're the Fatebinder who broke past the Vendrien guard. I think you'll find yonder wind wall a tougher nut to crack than the Apex Citadel. He chuckles. I'm here to end the Edict of Storms. Is that how it works? Kairos casts an edict and sends lackeys to the cleanup effort. In that case, I'm glad we're still independent of you Imperial dogs. Enjoy it while it lasts. When the region's under our control, you'll be breaking your back digging mass graves. It'll be worth watching. Or I'll be watching. I suggest you make like a storm and blow, because you're not getting inside this fortress. When you report back to your master, tell him that first scout, Janos, sent you off with your tail tucked between your cheeks. The hell are the Bane doing here? Following some scent of magic, at least that would be the safest assumption. I have a hypothesis that when gathered in large enough numbers, they'll communicate through song, albeit one so shrill we can't hear it, and I think I'm boring even me now, so I'll shut up now. I wonder if they're attracted to the edict then. Could be. Don't you know anything? The Bane are drawn to Kairos' magic like flies around a corpse. This whole region is polluted with the Overlord's reek. Nowhere more so than the wind wall before us. Mind yourself around their claws, Fatebinder. Said that once the Bane have you in their clutches, they never let go. What do you know about the edict, then? The storm will continue for as long as straight as Harridan lives. I wager that we're both keen on stopping the old coward's heart, though I'll do everything in my power to make sure that you never get any closer to Sentinel Stand than this. What if oops, I'm a step closer, then another. Are you going to do something about it, or just stare at me from your little nest up there? Your antics don't amuse me in the slightest, Scarlet Fury. Dance away if you must. You won't make it through the wind wall as I live and breathe. Ah, for a second there I was worried we'd have to let you live, but you put that to rest. So, what do you know about the Regents? Oh, the Regents were our royal family. They governed Old Stalwart, protected our borders, and rallied our armies when in need. Kairos' butchers left but one Regent standing, and he's as useless as a... Good grief. As useless as a mustache on a mallet. Why do you hate him? He's a spineless old man who hides behind his soldiers and doesn't possess any of the values he hammers into others. Oh, sorry, I was talking about Graven Ash. Janos flashes you a crude sign with his fingers. Would that I had the strength to tear down this wall and kill him myself. Harridan's a relic of the past, and we're looking to the future. We don't have any hope of squirming out from under Kairos' thumb while the old regent enjoys his twilight years, sipping dusty wine and hiding from the war. You know anything about Graven Ash's daughter Amelia? Sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm not too good with names, and your voice isn't carrying over the winds. He flashes you a wide, knowing grin. Impertinent scum! Climb over that wall and let me beat the truth out of you. So how do I get into Sentinel Stand? Well, throwing yourself into the wind wall comes to mind. Take a few steps inside and see how long it takes for the wind to strip you down to a skeleton. I'd love to stay and chat, but it's high time I reported on your presence to my superior officer. Be seeing you, Fatebinder, though you might not see me. He ducks behind the parapet and vanishes into the obscurity of the storm. Damn that vain southern wretch, Radovic spits. The Unbroken know the territory better than us and take every opportunity to flaunt it. What was that scout even doing here? Look, there's a corpse on the wall. Might bear a closer look. Can't tell from here, but I think it's wearing disfavored colors. So, you can tell from here. Alright. Fruit. Who the hell leaves fresh fruit around in this godforsaken place? Corpse, sure enough. With torn leather spalder, fragments of the shoulder armor worn by stone shields and crescent runners. The sigil of the disfavored, once worn proudly, has been deliberately ripped to pieces. Oh shit, and a scrap of the battle standard carried by Amelia, the daughter of the Archon of War. This body has been here a long time, and the storm has long since eroded skin from bones. Tucked away in the front one of the gauntlets, you find the scrap of a distinctive battle standard. That's the General's family crest. Amelia and her unit must have come through here. Seems a lifetime ago that we marched on Sentinel Stand. At least this proves we were on the right track. So close, too. The girl might still be alive out there. He looks at the wind wall with regret. What do you know about her? She was always headstrong. Took after her father in that regard. She also demanded the Legion treat her like an ordinary soldier whenever possible, though in truth she was far from ordinary. She's not an Archon like Ash, but she's vicious with a sword and good with her troops. I sparred with her outside the bastard city and almost lost an ear for my troubles. How do we know she's alive? Ash's protection would keep her standing long after anyone else would have fallen. I don't like to think what she's endured in her imprisonment, but we can help put it behind her. The disfavored are a hardy folk. A hammer to the skull, a sword to the gut, an arrow to the spine, and we don't go down easily. We can march for days without cracking a yawn. Of little else I could guarantee, but I know this much. The daughter of Graven Ash can outlast any prison. Well, so now what the hell do we do? Ash bade us to bring order to the region, but we need to learn as much about his daughter as possible. I heard tell of an unbroken fort called Dustwatch. One of our soldiers has been imprisoned there since around the time Amelia's unit went missing. I'll wager anything that if we shatter the unbroken defenses, we'll learn more about her whereabouts. That would be a handy lead to know a long while ago. Barrack's correct. They took Callius captive, supposedly one of the stone shields who traveled with Amelia. You ought to make contact with Osmios, the commander in charge of taking Dustwatch. I'm sure he would appreciate the aid of a Fatebinder. You go on ahead. I need to double back and relay this to Ash. That should raise the old man's spirits, eh? It seems like we didn't even... All we found was, like, slight proof that she'd been here, which we already strongly suspected.
I can't. Sorry, I can't.
Okay. Seems like I can't get over there currently. Which I feel like I could shimmy down this wall, but apparently not. He is running off the map. That is the Rust Storm. We can't go into that. There's clearly still some area here, but it's not really accessible currently. So I think we've got to go back and wind whips violently past, throwing bits of rock and metal past you along with the dust.
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah. So we gotta head to that fort now, I think. Duskwatch Fort. One of several forts hastily constructed by the Unbroken in response to Kairos' conquest of the Tears. Due to its position near Stalwart's coasts, it escaped destruction from Kairos' magical storms. It's now one of the few remaining rebel outposts in Stalwart. Alright. We will take that on next time. I'm going to leave it here for now. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.